Why do humans look different? Modern genetic studies show that the physical and facial features of an individual depend upon his or her ethnic habitat, that is, the surroundings in which his or her ancestors lived. The science of genetics demonstrate that humans cannot be divided into biologically distinct subcategories. In simple words, if your ancestors lived in a warm coastal habitat, then you are supposed to have quite a darker skin tone. For example, the indigenous people of Africa, people of southern India, and the aboriginals of Australia. If your ancestors lived in a cold polar habitat, then you are supposed to have quite a fairer skin tone. For example, the people of Russia and Europe, the people of northwest India, etc. And if your ancestors were from a hilly habitat, then you are supposed to have quite smaller eyelids, for example, the people of Southeast Asia and the people of Northeast India. Other physical features such as height, weight, shape, structure, immune system, etc. depends upon factors such as culture, tradition, and food habits. Michael Jackson was an African American. He had vitiligo, so he decided to completely depigment his skin by advanced medical surgery and became a white man. The geography of the Indian subcontinent itself is a great example in debunking the myth of race. Here I have put forward a collage of people belonging to different Indian communities. Well, as you know, India is a land of diverse population and culture, hence, it is quite impossible for me now to talk about all the Indian communities. So, let's have a look at these pictures. Here you can clearly see that people living in the warm central southern parts of India have quite a darker skin tone in comparison to rest of the Indians. For example, people of Bihar, Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, etc. Whereas people living in the cold, temperate northwestern parts of India have quite a fairer skin tone in comparison to the South Indians. For example, the people of Kashmir, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, etc. And people living in the hilly northeastern parts of India have comparatively smaller eyelids. For example, people of Assam, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, etc. Now, why do we have all these variations in skin color or facial features? And how the hell is even geography related to all this thing? Well, darkening of the skin is caused by a pigment called melanin. Uh, the more closer to the equator you are, the more likely the sun rays are going to hit you directly, resulting into higher pigmentation. Similarly, people living away from the equator have lower pigmentation, resulting into fairer skin tone. Whereas the smaller size of eyelids or the epicanthic fold is often associated as another adaptive evolutionary feature, which plays a defensive role in protecting the eyes, possibly from the harmful ultraviolet radiation found in hilly high altitude environments such as the Himalayas. The three race theory, often known as the Negroid, Caucasoid, Mongoloid theory, has now been scientifically disproven. But racism still exists somewhere in the minds of people. We find the traces of racism from the colonial era mainly, and even before that. Historically, people have suffered a lot because of racial categorization. Even as you know that in today's world, racism exists as a significant problem. So, the colonial era Britishers and Germans proposed the race theory to legitimize white skin supremacy or to justify slavery. In India, the Britishers further used this discredited racial categorization to divide the North Indians and the South Indians into two separate races. They distorted the Sanskrit words Arya, meaning a noble person, and Dravid, meaning coastal region. The Aryan invasion theory is now known as the Aryan migration theory, and it is another example of the racist propaganda. What is this out of India migration theory? What is the R1A genetic lineage? Who were the Yamnayas? Who were the ancient Egyptians? Who were the ancient Koreans? Why do European languages trace back their roots to the ancient Indian languages, mainly Sanskrit? And why do some North Indian, South Indian, and some Northeast Indian languages differ so much? Well, that is a topic for another video. I'll further share my research in the second part of this video related to racism and genetic sciences. However, if you liked my work, then share this video with your friends and also with your enemies who still legitimize racism. And if you did not like my work, then you can abuse me in the comment section. Namaskaram.